Hey, Jonathan's here too. I'm just getting some technology stuff organized here. I'm going to start in just about 30 seconds. Okay, so hello and welcome to webinar number 1 in my 3-part series on sculpting your passion into an online platform. I've been in web design since 1996, and these days a lot of what I'm hearing from my ideal customer is, how do I do that social media piece? It's a common concern, especially when you consider that my ideal customer is over 40, many of them over 50. They're subject matter experts, whether they're authors or speakers, consultants, coaches, or trainers. They have some great expertise they've gained over the years, but much of it is not in technology. So when they look at the social media opportunity, they know they should be using it. Relationship marketing is here to stay, and social media is a significant part of that. So looking at that new reality, they think, okay, well, here's a new tool in my tool belt. This is what the gurus are saying, is it's a tool we must use. So they say, okay, I've got my hammer, I've got my nails, but why isn't it working? Why, when I put something on Facebook or I put something on Twitter, is that not turning into customers? Am I just wasting my time? And the problem is, it's not a tool per se. It's more like a soapbox. Social media is still the same as communicating in person or communicating on the telephone. You wouldn't pick up the telephone and call up a potential client and then have nothing to say to them, not have thought through, why should they work with you? What do you offer? Well, social media is the same, but more so. Because you see, on social media, what you're sharing isn't a marketing message. And that's a very tough thing for people to get around. Social media really is about sharing your passion. Now, for many of us who are subject matter experts, who are solopreneurs, we're overworked, we're exhausted. Many of us are disillusioned by the time we come back to our computers and say, okay, LinkedIn, Facebook, I've got to do something. So we need to step back and say, do I need to do something? And if so, why? Because that's something that we haven't had the confidence or the time to really focus on, is that why. We feel like everybody understands social media except us, and we just have to blunder through. Well, what you need to understand is that social media is a tool to help you communicate to your ideal client the solutions you offer, just like your business card, just like a phone call, just like networking. And you need to take that into an online strategic plan. It feels a little strange to those of us over 40 to be using the internet, to be using our computer to communicate to real people, because we're used to that face-to-face side or the telephone side of things. And we need to make that step and start envisioning those real people. Because until we feel like we are speaking one-on-one on social media, we're not going to resonate with our client. Now, you'll notice that my series is called Passion to Platform. Now, when you started your business, you're going to need to think back and say, what was it that really excited me to say, I really want to be in business? It's not an easy go starting your own business, but there was a passion to serve. There was a passion to provide solutions that your experience told you would be of value to people. And those people were people that you really wanted to help. So you need to think back to that level of excitement. Often when we're going through our first year in business, we feel like reality has sunk in. We have to do bookkeeping. we have to do administration, we have to do emailing, we have to do marketing. And there's so many tasks that aren't directly related to what our passion originally was that drove us, that we can get overwhelmed. And by the end of that year, we're wondering, why did I even start in business? I don't want to do marketing. I don't want to try to sell to people. I'm so tired. I'm working too hard. What are the rewards? And we're just exhausted. We think, all right, we have a new reality we have to admit to, that we're going to be overworked and underpaid and just struggle along worrying about cash flow and administration. Well, that isn't reality. And what the reality is that you do need to take a step back and say, is this the kind of business that I would have designed if I knew then what I know now? And typically, it is not. So you need to step back and say, what would I have done? Where is my passion? Who do I want to serve? And what do they think that they need from me? Now, I mentioned I've been in web design since 1996, which is a long time and plenty of time to become incredibly frustrated with various models for my business. And this year I have been, as we say as solopreneurs, given an opportunity to redesign my business. So when I started out on my own in 2001, I felt that I needed to be a web designer. That's where the money was. People understood what a website was. And that's where their questions were at the time. And I didn't understand that I could combine my solutions with their needs and create something even better. And that's what this series is all about. When someone calls me about the social media thing, I could just teach them how to set up a Facebook page. I could just show them how to link that to their website, but that's not what I'm after. What I'm after is to inspire them into creating something that isn't work, is communication and passion and excitement that is going to resonate really only with their ideal client. So I don't want to teach them the mechanics of social media. I don't want to teach the mechanics of blogging, though I do. It's not my passion. See, what my passion is, and something that I haven't charged for, so in 1996, it's been a few years that I've been working in this field, and I've never charged for the piece that I now am redesigning my business around. I'm designing my business around the passion I have to help people discover their core message, the purpose that they had in starting their business, the thing that excites them. You know, when you think back to answering the phone from a client inquiry and you get excited, this is someone you love to work with. This is someone that you are going to be excited to wake up in the morning and work with day after day. And it only happens maybe once in 10 calls. What my goal is to help you communicate in a way that makes that 9 or 10 out of 10 calls are those people that you love to work with, who are asking you to do things that you love to do, provide the solutions that are at the core of your message, at the core of what you offer. And that is what the new reality of your business is. So that 1 year in where we're saying, well, reality is administration and cash flow. No, reality is it's time to set up a platform from which you can stand and declare what your core purpose is and who you help the most, so that those people are resonated with, so those people self-identify as your target market. And that is my core passion and what I want to bring to you in this series. So when we do look at relationship marketing, we look at a lot of different things. And when people say social media, when they tell me they don't get social media, what they're telling me is, I'm not sure what I should share online that is going to reach out to virtual people. Because it is tough to picture those people on the other side. And most of you have probably never even created a video, or you maybe created one video that you're sort of willing to share with people. It's tough creating your own marketing materials and creating that stand of, here's who I am, this is my persona, and you either love me or you don't. And if you love me, I want to work with you. So through these 3 videos, I'm going to share with you the process of determining what is your core passion. And we do have a couple of worksheets to help you identify what that passion is. If you do currently still reach out to that passion, or sometimes it's been so long, or we're so new in business, we haven't even identified that passion and what it is for us today. We change a lot as solopreneurs. Being in business makes us stronger, more independent. Sometimes it also makes us put on a facade, though, of I am a business person. And we feel like we have to look professional and sound professional and be rather serious and really control what we say and how we present ourselves. And to an extent, this is true. But our passion to serve people is what helps people understand that they are my ideal customer. If all you know is I am someone who offers internet marketing, you don't know if I will set you up with email marketing software, if I will help you create a database, design a web page, help you put a signature line on your emails that are going out. You have no idea whether I want to work with startup businesses, if I want to work with entrepreneurs or big corporations, retail or manufacturing. Until I self-declare that I am passionate about helping solopreneurs who are working alone in their business create a process that is powerful and passionate, that almost markets themselves once it's in play, once you hit go on that autopilot, autoresponder piece, that you, until you hear me say that, you don't know that you're my ideal customer. I don't want manufacturers to listen to this video and say, that's the person I want to work with. I want authors, speakers, consultants and coaches, natural healers and other subject matter experts to listen to this and say, she gets it. She gets that I'm alone, that I can't just keep hiring IT people. I can't keep throwing thousands of dollars out the window, hoping that someone will get me and market me online. So that's what I've declared for myself. And one of the first steps in your process is going to be working with me to say, what is my core purpose? Why am I here? What do I offer the world that feels right to me and feels right to my target market? And although that seems a little bit woo-woo, airy-fairy, it is what drives you. It's what gives you that persistence and consistency and allows you to continue to work day after day on your business and in your business. When you're working outside of who you really are, what your core purpose is and what your vision should be, it doesn't ring true to your target market and it doesn't ring true to you. It makes you feel like you're selling and instead of helping. You know that feeling like you're trying to convince somebody they should buy your products or services? That doesn't feel good. What feels good is finding out what your customer needs and knowing that the way you're going to deliver it with them and work with them is going to transform their business or their family life or their personal life, that it's going to change how they enjoy their day. It's a big difference from selling, isn't it? So that's why we start with passion. Now, we don't stop there because we do need reality. And there is, unfortunately, some reality to this. Your passion may not be what your target customer thinks they need. So the next step we do is we use some tools that are online that lets us prove to ourselves where our target customer is. Where is their mind right now? What are they searching for on Google? What questions are they asking on Yahoo Answers? What do they say on social media? So that we understand their entry point. See, I don't teach social media per se, but as part of this course, social media flows easily, powerfully, and in a compelling fashion from this process. So I'm giving my customer that social media piece, but I'm giving them more than that. I'm giving them a business that is easy to market. I'm giving them a way to take their core message and turn it into this process. So what do you do that delivers what somebody knows they need, but more? So for instance, a naturopath who tends to work with older women might think that what she's really offering is an alternative to menopause hormone therapy. But what the person that comes to them is looking for is an alternative to the traditional healthcare scheme that says, take this drug and then suck it up. Because a naturopath has ways of restoring energy and restoring health, dealing with your belly that collects at the age of 45 or thereabouts. And what she needs to recognize, or he needs to recognize, is what brings somebody in is what they're going to listen to first. So if what they're looking for is an alternative to hormone therapy, they're not looking for get rid of my extra 10 pounds. They're not worried about getting up easier in the morning or getting a better sleep at night. But those effects that she creates are the ones that really excite her. It's not one or the other. It's a package. And when you start thinking of the package of solutions you deliver, then you can meet your client where they need you and take them through the process of completely over-delivering, of giving that solution that excites both you and your customer or client. So we start from that message. Find, again, there are 3 or 4 different ways that I teach in the full course, from search engine work to AdWords work, Yahoo Answers, our frustration survey. There's a few ways that we go through the process of finding out what that target ideal customer that you love to work with is actually looking for when they first reach out. And then we take that overlap of your passion and their needs to create the package of solutions that is going to resonate with both of you, that's going to energize and pull you together. So that's our next step, is creating that message they need to hear from your passion and their needs. That message is what fuels our online platform. So that platform does consist of social media that feeds into our website, which is where we monetize our passion by creating that package of solutions from free to entry level, through an upsell to the VIP level. And what I'm going to teach you is both the marketing process, so that you have a process to feed people into, and the technology to manage it, so that you understand what you're doing when you stand on a stage at a workshop and take somebody's email address and enter it into that process we create together. Because there is a process that works best with that ideal customer. And you're probably thinking right now, yeah, I know. As soon as I say this to somebody, they get what I'm doing and they're excited. Or as soon as I offer them this document or I share this statistic, then that pulls that ideal customer closer to you. So that's our next step after we've determined your passion and your message, is to create that process. So if somebody comes to my website from a search engine, is there a logical next step that they understand to take? Looking at your website now, is there a logical next step? Because every page on your website should have the purpose of taking that person the next step to working with you, to reaching that solution that they need. When I feed somebody in from an email, they're probably an existing prospect or a client. Do I have different processes for them? If I'm sending a client to my website, they probably shouldn't be landing on my homepage. They should be landing on an offer, something that is going to speak to them. So when I do have that message and I'm creating that process, the process tells me what the next steps are, which means that everything I do on social media should be leading people who need that next step into that landing page on my website to go that next step. Now, those that I don't get to my website, I might be getting them to my blog. Now, a blog is something that scares a lot of people. It's a bit of a commitment. Okay, it's a big commitment. I mean it. It's writing every week. But it's not writing crazy huge articles or novels. It's writing something that helps your ideal client understand how and why they should be working with you, and also gives them the opportunity to get started. So if you look at my blog, there is an opportunity for you to craft New Year's packages, or make your WordPress more compelling, or how to add some little bits and pieces and tips into your WordPress site that make it easier to use so you can focus on content instead of formatting. It doesn't replace working with me, but it does help you know who I am and how I will help you a little bit further. So that's our content management piece. You need to have a content marketing plan that helps that ideal client learn more about you, learn more about your passion, and learn what it would be like to work with you. So a case study is a perfectly legitimate blog. If once every week you share a great case study of somebody that you've helped, what their problem was, what your ideas were, what your solution was, and how it helped them, that's 52 articles right there. Perfectly legitimate. We'll help somebody understand what you do and how to work with you. When you're feeding people from your social media into that blog, you explain further in the blog some of the details that your Facebook post or your Twitter post shared, but it also should take them one step further. And that's one thing that people miss in the blogging process. They don't understand where it fits. And you may have felt this yourself, that how do all of these pieces fit together? Do I have to use all of the pieces? Do I have to be on Facebook? Do I have to be on LinkedIn? We look at what each of those pieces are, which ones work for you, which ones work for your personality and your comfort level. Now, some of the time you're going to have to come outside of your comfort zone. You know, Twitter is probably outside your comfort zone. YouTube, very likely outside your comfort zone. But can you get comfortable there? We want to stretch you, not break you. So we look at all those different pieces and which ones you will use, but then where do they fit in your process? So if you don't have a process, there is no need for social media. That's a big statement, but if you don't know why you're saying something on Facebook, then all you're really doing is wasting time. And you're feeling kind of miserable and probably just a little stupid because it doesn't lead to results. It's not you. It's that what brands are taught about social media as opposed to solopreneurs, very, very different. The job of a solopreneur is to put themselves in front of their client, not to put their logo in front of their client. So all those contests and, share your photos and share this and share that, in some cases, they're appropriate to a solopreneur on a scaled back level, but in reality, it's a conversation stream you're trying to create, not brand exposure. You don't have the millions of dollars that Nike has. You don't have the McDonald's freebies to give away. You can't give away a Happy Meal every time somebody shares something on your Facebook page. So you need to be more compelling and more passionate. And that's why it all stems from getting to that real message that's really going to resonate with people. You want to make sure that your message feels right to people. I'm going to show you one quick tool, partly because I want to play around with the ability to share my screen in Webinar Jam. So I'm going to pull up screen sharing and I'm going to share one web page in here. And what I hope I am sharing right now is my campaign management page on Google AdWords. A lot of great free tools. And when we go through the full course together, you're going to use a lot of Google's tools. There are some analytics that are very valuable that tell you who your visitors are and where they're coming from and what they're looking for. But even before that, before we even have a website or our own visitors, we can actually come into something called Google AdWords, which is those ads you see on the Google search results pages. When you have a Google AdWords account, which you can set up for free, you can log in and go into Tools, Keyword Planner, and find exactly what people are searching for and the words that they are using online in the last month. So in the last 30 days, people that are from around the world or from just North America or just Canada, I advise you go fairly wide. I use North America. And it will let you see exactly what they're searching for. So when we click into search for new keyword and ad group ideas, it allows us to enter some ideas that we think people might be searching for. And you'll see I've chosen the United States and Canada. And I'm going to click on Get Ideas. What that does is go out to the Google database and find out what do people care about when they're searching for these terms or something like them. So if I am dead wrong here and nobody is searching for email marketing or social media, what will happen is it will show me the results down below for social media marketing. I'm going to go straight into the keyword ideas though, and see, I can see the search volume on these kinds of search terms are $1 to $2 million a month, much higher in expense. So 90,000 people a month search for social media, 14,800 a month search for email marketing. If I wanted to be #1 placement on Google for email marketing, I would need to bid $62 per click. If I wanted to be #1 for social media, I would need to bid $8 a click. So I may look at that and say, there is no way that is in my budget. So then I scroll down and get the ideas that other people are searching for. So if somebody's looking for social media sites, I wouldn't want to pay for that. If they're looking for Social Media Examiner, that tells me I should probably be advertising on the Social Media Examiner website. Social media services and email marketing services, though, might be something that is of more interest to me. So I can scroll through and find out how many people searched for social media services last month, 880. Well, the bid is $12. If I want to work with everyone in the world, that's what I would have to pay, is $12 a click-through. If I added Social Media Services Ontario or Social Media Services Barrie, I know that people in Ontario and Barrie probably type in social media services, but because Google tries to give you a local result first, then I can show up much higher at a much lower bid rate, as little as 10 cents, as soon as I start adding some ways to specify my location. So this is something that you can do right now with your company. I believe people are going to type in whatever your keyword would be. Go and test that. So if your keyword is relationship marketing, if your keyword is presentation skills, how to write a novel, whatever you think your keywords are, go to the keyword planner on Google and type that in and see what people are actually typing, because those are the problems they're having. So if you want to teach people how to write a novel, go find out what their need is first, because their first need is how they need to come to you. So if their first need is how to create a plot, then you need to find them on the how to create a plot and then upsell them the how to create the full novel. If their first need in speaking skills is how to use PowerPoint in a meeting room, then that's where you need to meet them on, because they're thinking PowerPoint because it's less scary, first of all. And that's something kind of intuitively you can think, okay, well, somebody may want to go a little easier route. They may not want to learn how to be a professional speaker. They may be a little shy about saying they want speaking skills. So they might instead say, how do I do PowerPoint better? So you meet them there and then teach them how to use the PowerPoint as the tool that sits behind them. In the presentation is really them and their words and their presence. So I hope that makes sense. That's one of the 4 tools that I use to help to determine how does your passion overlap with what people are actually searching for. You then need to modify that message to speak to those people at the entry level. And that's one tool that lets us see what that entry level would be. There's a few others that are really powerful that will give you the confidence to say, it's worth my time. This is an investment. If you don't know what people are looking for on social media, if you don't know what blogs they would read or why they'd come to your website, then it feels like you're wasting time online, because in fact you are. So if you feel like you're wasting your time online, it is because you are. But the solution isn't to spend more time or no time. The solution is to come up with a passion-driven, strategic communication strategy that speaks to your ideal customer about the needs they have that will lead to the solutions that you provide. Now, I also want to run just a quick poll in here, and hopefully this will show up well on your screen. I'm going to start a poll, and I'm going to ask you to fill out the answers to this poll. You should see it on the right-hand side of your page. Do you currently have a blog? So I'll get you to go in there and vote on that. And then once you've clicked on your vote, I'm going to click End Poll, and we can see the results of that. So everybody said yes. Hopefully that was all of you. And if not, this is going to be something kind of fun to determine. This is, we're using Google Hangouts on air through a third-party webinar jam. The next poll I want to put up is, how do you feel about the ideal customer concept? Because I keep talking about finding that ideal target customer, and often, especially in newer businesses or new ventures or new products, it feels like you want to sell to everybody. If they're breathing and they've got a wallet with money in it or a credit card that isn't maxed out, that's my ideal customer. No, it's very hard to market to everybody. So I want you to think about how you feel about specifically talking to the people that you know you will resonate with the most. So what does it make you feel when I say, yeah, focus on that customer, focus on the people that you would love to work with, that when you answer the phone, you feel fantastic, that you're energized, you're inspired to work with those people, as opposed to saying, well, you know, everybody needs a website. I guess I'll just do that website for this person. I'll do my 64th real estate website. You know, it gets a little exhausting versus speaking specifically about, no, I want to offer some coaching to an author who needs to create a platform so that the publisher is happy with them. That excites me. So I'll get you to put your vote in now. And then I'm going to just close the poll. And see how we did there. Okay, so we've got a love it, can't wait to put up the velvet rope is the consensus there. Now, as I'm talking about this, it's probably a little bit overwhelming to think of putting all these tools together. And I'm just looking in the chat saying the video is a little bit behind real life, so possibly if I didn't give you an opportunity to submit the polls, it's because we've got a little bit of a lag time using Google Hangouts. So the next thing that we want to talk about, though, is the fact that, yes, this can be very overwhelming, and there are a lot of pieces. Trying to learn it on your own, there's tons of information online, isn't there? It's everywhere. The problem is the information designed for solopreneurs? Is it designed for subject matter experts, people who are passionate about sharing a message and reaching out to create solutions that they are uniquely qualified to provide? If you're whittling through all the information out there, it can feel like you need to take a whole course on how to take a course. So what I've pulled together is a course for solopreneurs and breaking things down into multiple pieces. So we have a 6-week coaching program that I'll talk about more in future videos. But you need to understand, don't do all this at once. The reason this is a 6-week course that I create is that you cannot do everything at once. You will burn out so fast and you'll be up till midnight working on things that you should be integrating bit by bit anyway. So there are many pieces to it. In fact, if you download the free chapters of my ebook, Platform, the Technology Piece, that will outline those pieces for you too. And you'll see that it is broken down into a step-by-step, do things in the right order in order to build on each step, scaffold your work, so that as you are creating things, you're getting more and more confident and less overwhelmed as time goes on in this course and in this project. So I want to encourage you to just start with step 1. What is my passion? What is that core message and core solution that I want to offer? And I do have a worksheet that's going to be available with the replay when I put it up on my website later on today, as long as my video renders appropriately in a quick enough fashion. It'll be up today, otherwise it'll be up tomorrow morning. And there is a worksheet that goes with it that helps you to ask yourself the right questions. Sometimes we ask ourselves questions like, how am I going to get through this day? Oh my goodness, am I ever going to be done with this customer? We want to ask the right questions to help create the answer, to identify that message that really inspires you to serve your customer. So I do have a couple of worksheets to work through for those of you that know what that customer already is and who know what that kind of a feel for that core message. And another one for those of you who say, I've never really thought of this before. Start me at 0. So those will be available later. I also want to share, I do have an offer for people who are committing to watch this 3-part free video series. It is called the 6 Weeks to Passion-Based Platform, and I'm going to fly that into your site right now. And hopefully that will pull up correctly for you. It's always fun testing this new software. So you'll see that there is a one-time payment of $297 for this process, and there's a sign up today button to receive the discount of $100 off. So you click on that. That should take you to a new window, and you can access that at any time during or after this video. And that will allow you to take advantage of the course that I do offer that will lead you from passion through message, through finding that target market, finding about what they care about, determining what they need to hear from you, where they need to hear that from you, and how, to make them feel like you are the person they should choose. Then we're also going to look at methods to track that and then to automate it. So if somebody is, for instance, watching this video right now, and they see that offer, they go to my website, they will see that they can purchase right now, but they'll also see that they could just download a freebie. And they might not be quite as confident yet to purchase from me. So the next step in that process for them would be to click and get the freebie. The follow-up to downloading that freebie needs to be about a week later or a few days later. An automatic email goes out to them that says, don't forget, we've got this 6-week course that's going to be starting, and make sure that you get in now with that discount code. So I've thought through, where's my passion and what process, what steps do I want people to go through? And you need to do the same thing for your business. So I want you to have a look at that program to see what are the pieces that are involved in creating my platform and putting it in place. Is there an order to them? Is there a right and wrong way to do it? Yes, there really is. I mean, you can stumble through on your own and you will discover the truths of what works for you and your clients. What I want to do is shorten that process, bring it down to 6 weeks of building a confident platform where you can say, I know what I want to say, and I know who I want to say it to, and I know what they're doing online and which social media outlets to find them on. I know what they want to read, and I know how to take them the next step, and I put that in place on my website. I've automated my follow-up, and I have some email marketing that goes in, which is not just a newsletter. It's actually strategic email marketing. And I have ways to test and see which one worked better, which tweet was more powerful, which Facebook update brought more visits and likes. So all of those things are doable. And when you bring them down to the solopreneur level, there's only a few tools that you need to crucially understand and implement to be able to do these amazingly advanced strategies that the big companies are doing, but they're spending tens of thousands of dollars and creating software that is proprietary, only their software. Well, a lot of that's already available, and I'm going to take you through. Most of the software will be free. Some of them will be a small charge and a one-time fee that will let you access those same tools, but at a solopreneur level, that you can really maximize the time that you spend online, both by reducing the amount of time you spend on time, but leveraging the results and really building your existing network that you have in the offline world and understanding how to pull them in further to your online message so that they're getting the best results that can possibly be given. Now, I do have a chat box available as well. So what I'd like to ask you to do now is this should be available to you to be able to ask a question. So I'd love it if you would tell me if there's anything that was not terribly clear. Could you say, what's the biggest need you have right now about this content, about finding out what is your passion and determining, is it a realistic platform to build from, and how to determine that. So if you do have a question, we're going to take that over into the chat box and open that up for you now. And that should be available to you. You'll see that you can send me a private message, or you can send to everybody. By default, it is to everybody. So I see Jonathan says hello. Hi, Jonathan. Good to see you. Do you have any questions that you would like to have answered here, Jonathan? So what I'm going to suggest is I will put this video up. There will be an email contact at the bottom. So if you want to email your questions to me as well, that would be fantastic. I can do a Q&A video later on about exactly the same kind of content and the questions that you have. And what my challenge to you is right now is, with the new year, we often think that we need to take time to, look at our marketing and redesign things. It just feels like if only we could get away for 2 weeks. Microsoft, you'd hear that they'd fund this 2-week getaway to the Caribbean with all their managers and marketing people, all their PR people. And you think, oh, wouldn't it be great if I could do that? The problem with going away for 2 weeks is you end up having a few days where you're settling in and a few days where you're thinking, oh, I got to get to work, and a few days where you try to get some work done and you start, the time is ticking on you. What I encourage you to do is say, how can I implement new strategies into my existing business using time I already have in my day-to-day life? So whether it's 2 hours a week or 2 hours twice a week, that is enough to build a solid new strategy. So if it feels like you need to get away, what you probably need is just a guided process to lead you step by step through. And you'll find that in some of my freebies that are online. And if you want to have a little bit more support and some hand-holding and some coaching, then I encourage you to look at that 6-week coaching course and make it available to you, because it is a crazy, amazing offer that I'm giving that includes a consultation call, some one-on-one coaching, as well as 6 webinars and 2 Q&A calls that will deal with some of your questions. There'll be some homework. That's just the way it is when you are starting a new project. But the homework is going to be guided through this manual that has the worksheets and the process sheets that will help you see and understand each tool, each opportunity, and how it applies to you and your customers. So thanks for taking part in this Google Hangout with me today. It's been a lot of fun playing around with Webinar Jam. It gives some extra things. You can see my eyes darting to the side as I look at some of the extra tools that are available in the sidebar. So I'm going to end the Hangout now. And if you'd like to email me afterwards, that would be fantastic. I really appreciate you taking the time to explore this topic with me today. And I hope that you found it very beneficial as well. If you could send me an email afterwards letting me know any more specific needs that you have, that would also be really valuable to me, because again, I'm listening to my target customers and wanting to understand where they're at, and the words that you would use may not be the same as I would use. So thanks for joining me in the Technology Piece Google Hangout, exploring how to turn your passion into a platform. We'll talk to you soon.